mid-June 1775, war had broken out between Great Britain and its colonies in North America. Rebel forces fortified Breed's Hill near Boston. They would soon be in a showdown with the forces of the British military governor, Thomas Gage. Thomas Gage was born in 1721, son of Benedicta and Thomas Viscount Gage. He joined the British Army on January 30th, 1741, with the rank of lieutenant. During the War of the Austrian Succession, he appears to have been an aide-de-camp to Major General William Ann Keppel, Earl of Albemarle and Governor of Virginia. At the outbreak of the French and Indian War in 1754, Gage was sent to North America. On December 8, 1758, he married Margaret Kemble, with whom he would have 6 sons and 5 daughters. He became governor of Montreal after its fall to the British in 1760. In 1763, he became British commander in America. It was during this time that the colonies were under attack by indigenous tribes. New York had already been asked to reinforce the British troops and had declined to do so unless New England was asked as well. Gage complied, but ultimately found the colonial assistance so minuscule that he disregarded general orders to reduce the British Army in America to the level it had been prior to the French and Indian War. He was promoted to lieutenant general at the end of April 1770 and returned to Great Britain in late 1772. He would not be gone long, however. On April 2nd, 1774, King George III appointed him Governor-in-Chief and Captain-General of Massachusetts. He arrived on May 13th, weeks before Boston's port was to close until its denizens paid the East India Company for the tea they had destroyed there. The Committee of Correspondence in Boston formulated an agreement, which they called the Solemn League and Covenant. Those who made the agreement were to cease all trade with Britain until the Boston Port Act was repealed. On June 29th, Gage proclaimed the covenant traitorous and instructed magistrates to arrest any colonist who agreed to it. In mid-August, Gage assembled prominent residents of Boston and read them the clause in the Massachusetts Government Act, which prohibited town meetings without his permission. He later issued writs for the election of a General Assembly to convene at the beginning of October. With the colonists becoming agitated, however, he countermanded the writs. The elections proceeded anyway, and the new members voted themselves the Provincial Congress of Massachusetts. It was around this time that Gage wrote about suspending the Coercive Acts, a proposal that was rejected by King George. The following spring, Gage sent grenadiers and light infantry to destroy munitions which the colonists had gathered in Concord, where the Provincial Congress met. On the morning of April 19, 1775, they clashed with militia in Lexington. The tensions, which had been rising between Britain and its colonies for the past decade, had escalated into open conflict. On May 5th, the Provincial Congress resolved that they would cease to obey Gage. 20 days later, Gage was reinforced by Major Generals William Howe, John Burgoyne, and Henry Clinton. On June 12th, Gage declared martial law and offered a pardon to anyone who ceased their resistance, except for Samuel Adams and John Hancock. Those who did not, he warned, would be regarded as traitors. Rebels took up positions on high ground overlooking Charlestown. On June 17th, Gage sent his forces to dislodge them. The resulting Battle of Bunker Hill ended in victory for the British. On August 2nd, Gage was for the second time in his life made British commander in North America. On the same day, King George commanded him to return to Britain to discuss military operations to take place the following year. Gage returned to Britain in October, promoted to full general in 1782, and died on April 2nd, 1787. When Gage was placed in command in Massachusetts, tensions had been rising between Britain and its colonies in North America for a decade. He was entrusted with the task of enforcing the Coercive Acts, and his efforts to carry out his orders led to the outbreak of war. If you like our videos, please like, subscribe, and comment below.